with all these things that religion can do, it adds to it then that you do it in a community of fellow believers, of fellow Christians or Jews or Muslims or whatever. There's a religious mentality that yearns for that. And there's a great danger in this with the disappearance of religion, that the religious mentality will not disappear. It's often been pointed out, for those of us who discount the moral value of religion, that some of the greatest evils of the 20th century were perpetrated by regimes that were not at all religious. Nazi Germany, Stalinist Russia, Maoist China, Pol Pot's Cambodia. But the leaders of those regimes were not mere thugs. They played on the desire of their people for a big truth, for something about which they could organize their lives. People want that big truth, whether it's racial superiority or the dictatorship of the proletariat. They want sacred scriptures, whether it's Mein Kampf or the Little Red Book. And that danger, I think, is not very different from the danger posed by religion. It's the danger of the religious mentality that wants something transcendent in our lives that will join us together with other people who are like ourselves and will answer all the difficult questions about how to balance one thing and another in our lives. In opposition to that, the reasonable person, the scientist, what can we offer? We can offer just a lot of little truths. We should be good to each other, and we should try to be honest, sometimes even to ourselves. We should enjoy beauty where it exists, and if we possibly can, create a little bit ourselves. These little truths which we pursue individualistically, not in communions, these do not provide that excitement that the religious mentality hungers for. But it may be all we have, and we have to try to live with that. How can we live with so little? Well, it's not easy. One can take a certain grim satisfaction in recognizing things as they are. For example, again, Sam said, it doesn't take away from love that we understand the biochemical basis of love. It doesn't necessarily take away from it, but it takes a certain balancing to be able to live in a world where our finest emotions are at the same time something we understand in non-spiritual ways, in biochemical ways. We have to have them both in our minds at the same time and take a certain grim satisfaction in the fact that we can deal with that and still love. Richard Dawkins is here, so I will say that this is an ideology I'm describing that is not a meme. This is not something that naturally lends itself to self-perpetuation by punishing disbelievers, say. Life without religion is difficult. It's not easy to do without it. We have to try and do our best. I don't have any simple answers. Perhaps other people here will have better things to say about how we can live without religion. Without religion, what? One small thing I might add is that one of the things that where religion itself can be helpful is in providing a source of humor. That I think humor is, of all human traits, one of the ones that will survive and provides a great consolation. In the works of Shakespeare, I think his greatest moments are when, in the midst of tragedy, some comic proletarian comes on the stage, a gravedigger or a doorkeeper or a gardener or a seller of figs, who wishes you joy of the worm. And the humor puts the tragedy in context and gives you a sense of being able to see human affairs from a greater perspective. And religion, the whole long, sorry history of monks and rabbis, priests, ulams, bonzes, ayatollahs, it's a running river of harmless merriment that will go on, I think, amusing us long after people have stopped taking it seriously. Thank you.